Hello, my name is Amber and I am a group fitness instructor at the University of Cincinnati. And today I'm going to be sharing with you a relaxation yoga practice to help release tension in your neck and shoulders. So I think a lot of us get some kind of pain or feel tight in some way in these areas. A lot of it can be posture or slumping. A lot of it's spending time sitting at desks or in chairs and things like that, or just anything. It could even be like you did a really big upper body workout and so now your shoulders are sore. There are a lot of reasons for it, and it's not anything to feel bad about. It's pretty common, so no blame to any of us. But just practicing loving kindness to our bodies by taking care of them and taking this time to slow down, to come to the mat and do some poses and stretches that should hopefully help to release some tension in those areas. These are some of my go-to relaxation yoga poses that I personally practice to help with those things. So let's come over to our yoga mats. The main thing you'll need for today's practice is simply your yoga mat. I made this practice so you don't need a ton of props. Of course, if you would like to have a blanket or a pillow or bolster, definitely feel free to have those things with you. And of course, a trusty bottle of water is always a good thing to have on hand as well. As always, go at your own pace. Just do what you can and what feels good for you and your body at this time. Feel free to take a break or a drink of water at any time as well. So let's go ahead and find a comfortable seat to get started, whatever that feels like today to you. So I like to sit on my blanket to kind of elevate my hips. I find it just helps me feel a little more relaxed sitting with an upright spine. So find a good posture. Your crown of your head lengthens up, sitting bones root down, sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders relaxed down away from your ears. So we're sitting up tall, intentional, and a good posture. But we're also kind of relaxed, being relaxed about it. We're not tensing any areas of our bodies. And your eyes can be open or closed as we get started here. Just take a few moments here to find a steady rhythmic breath or a 4-count breath. Gently breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. And breathe out. And just try the best you can to stay with this steady, rhythmic breath throughout your day today, and throughout this practice. You know that you can come back to this breath at any time. So if you're ever feeling stressed out throughout your day, just come back to that steady 4-count breath again. See if it helps. You feel a little less nervous, a little more at ease. But especially on the mat, we'll stay with that breath. And as you sit here with this breath in your intentional seat, start to set an intention for your practice if you'd like. So the intention could be anything that feels good to you right now, anything that feels soothing or uplifting, anything that you need to focus on. Maybe it's releasing tension in your mind and body. Maybe it's letting go of things that don't serve you. So as we let go and release in our body, maybe we can also let go and release maybe some of the old thoughts or ideas we're holding on to our minds, old stories that we are telling ourselves about who we are, or the way things are, or our own limitations that maybe aren't really serving the greater good or our best interest. And also letting go of pressure and tension that you have to push all the time as hard as possible yourself to exhaustion, that it's okay sometimes to have that balance of work and rest. So whatever it is for you, just start to set some kind of positive intention to focus on today. And as you sit with this breath and intention, go ahead and open your eyes if they're closed. So inhale, take a deep breath in through your nose, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, release them down. You take a deep breath out, or a big breath out through your mouth. Big sigh. You can always inhale, let, next, so go. Hearing me, inhale, let. And exhale, go. Let's do it one more time. It feels good, I think. Take one more breath in. And release your arms down. Release the breath out. And then come back to that steady 4-count breath. Breathing in and out through your nose. Steady, even breaths. And we'll start to bring your shoulders up by your ears. Roll them down and back. And just do that a few more times here on your own. Roll your shoulders up by your ears and roll them down and back. And just See if you can start to feel any tension release from your shoulders even as we get started here. And if it feels a little crispy or crunchy, that's totally normal and okay too. And then just let your shoulder blades relax down your back, still sitting up tall. Still inhale, tilt your chin up towards the ceiling. Just feel a little stretch here along the front of your neck. If your breath feels a little constricted here, that's okay. That's normal as well. Just do what you can. Take one more breath in. And one more breath out. Inhale, come back through to neutral. And this time exhale your chin down to your chest. Chest to your chin. This time feeling that stretch along the back of your neck. Shoulders stay relaxed down away from your ears. Back is still upright. Spine still upright. Take a couple of breaths here. There's no rush. Nice and easy. Nice and slow. Taking our time. And then from here, just begin to slide your chin over toward your left shoulder. And you can pause here if you'd like for a moment, or you might even, if and only if it feels good to you, you might start to tilt your head back a little bit. But just see how it feels, see where it goes. And then just do little half rolls from side to side. So gently make your way back through center and over to your right shoulder. And again, you can pause here, maybe tilt back a little bit. It's totally up to you. And then back through center. And this can go as slow as you'd like. You can even pause if there's a certain part of your neck where you're feeling extra tight. Maybe pause and just take a breath there before moving on. This time, check in. Of course, there shouldn't be any pressure or pain here. You might feel some clicks or areas of tension, and that's okay. You might feel stretching, even a little discomfort in today's practice, perhaps. But there should never be any actual pain. If there is, that's a sign to back off a little bit from what you're doing. And next time you make your way back down through center, just pause for a sec there. And then lift your chin back up when you're ready. We'll do one more shoulder stretch seated here. And then we'll kind of move around a little bit more on our mat. So this time we're going to take your arms out to a T or cactus. And then from here, take your fingertips to kiss the tops of your shoulders. Elbows out to the side, still seated in your upright spine. And then from here, we're going to begin to bring those shoulders down along your side and then bring them to touch each other in front of your chest. If they don't quite touch, that is fine too. It's as long as you're going in that direction. And then as you inhale, bring your shoulders up in front of your face, up and over, and then your shoulders are pointed towards the ceiling. Exhale them down and back, and as you do that, see if you can kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together. And we'll do this a few more times, so perhaps make it a little more fluid. Inhale, up and over, and exhale down and back. Kind of making these big circles here. Inhale, and exhale. Let's do this one more time. See if we can loosen things up a little bit here. And then relax your shoulder blades again down and back. You know, roll your shoulders a few times or shake your head no or yes. Just maybe take a moment to make any little stretches or movements for a sec from here. As we start to make our way onto your mat, you're going to slide your feet behind you. Make your way to your hands and knees and find yourself in tabletop. If you want, you can always put a blanket or something underneath your knees for a little extra padding. Fingers spread wide, shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees. Crown of your head lengthens forward. Your tailbone lengthens back with a flat back. And we'll just move right into some cat and cow warm-up stretches here. Inhale, look forward. Abs relax down towards the earth as your tailbone slides up towards the ceiling. And exhale, navel towards your spine, tailbone towards the earth, gazing towards your navel for cat. Inhale, sway forward into your cow. And exhale into your cat and just gently flow from form to form here, moving at your own pace and with your own breath. Just continue with your cat and cow movements a few more times. eventually you'll make your way back to center, back to your tabletop. Take your palms out about as wide as your shoulders, fingers spread wide. Curl your toes under and lift your hips up to find downward dog. Might be your first one of the day, so you might have a little bend in your knees still. You might strain your legs. Feel free to bend one knee and then the other to kind of feel a stretch through the backs of your legs as you walk it out. You can shake your head loose a little bit. If that feels good. Movements that feel good. Your shoulders relax away from your ears. And we'll take one more breath in. And exhale, lower to your knees again. This time we'll sink your seat to your heels for child's pose. Now your knees can be close together or farther apart. So feel free to play around with that. You can find a pillow with your hands if that feels good to you. Otherwise, I would say if you stretch your arms out in front of you, you can really feel a nice stretch and release through your shoulder blades and upper back. So maybe see if you can feel that one, if that works for you today. Can you breathe in and breathe out? And we'll stay here for a minute or two. In our child's pose, just pause here, really feel that length in your spine. Release through your shoulders and upper back, perhaps. You might also feel a little bit of a release, stretch through your legs or anywhere else you're feeling tight. Come back to that intention. What do you need right now? And what might you be able to let go of? Just let it go. Whatever's going on is probably not as big as it seems. And even if it is, all you can do is breathe and do the best that you can and take it one step at a time. If you want to add any props to this, feel free to do so. I'm trying to keep this simple and accessible to everyone. So if you don't have props, you can just stay where I'm at. If you do happen to have a bolster or some pillows or something that you want to stack in front of you and come down onto those, you could always feel free to take that option, but it's not required. This is generally a restorative and resting pose, either way, with or without props. Balasana, child's pose. I'll take another minute here, so I'm just going to give you a little quiet space to just be present with yourself. Let yourself just be. We are, after all, human beings, not human doings. Take a couple more breaths here. Press down through the palms of your hands and now start to shift forward back to your tabletop. If you use any props, you can just kind of scoot those out of the way. Otherwise, you can just come straight forward here. Feel free to make any little stretches or movements that you want to here. Just kind of gently release from your child's pose since we did hold it for a few minutes today. And then from your tabletop, this time inhale, bring your right hand forward and lift it up. If you can, turn your gaze to look out over your right fingertips. If I can talk, that'd be great. Take one more breath in here. And then exhale, slide that arm underneath. So just slide it kind of underneath your left armpit, if you will. And then from here, begin to lower to your left forearm as you you slide your right arm underneath and make your way to your right shoulder. And then just let your right shoulder and your right ear rest on the earth. Try to keep your hips level as best as you can. I'm going to show this from another angle too in case anybody is confused at all. So what's going to look like is this. You bring your arm up, you're sliding it through, the left arm comes down, and then you slide it through and bring head and shoulder to the floor. If your shoulder doesn't quite touch the floor, you can always slide a blanket or something underneath your shoulder if you have that to kind of help close out that space between your shoulder and the floor. And if you don't have that, again, just do what you can and work with what you have. And just relax into this. You can feel a really nice stretch release in your shoulder here. This is our thread the needle pose. We'll stay here for just a little bit longer. Continue to breathe in and breathe out. Let everything relax and release. Try to release any pressure. Take another breath in. And just press back up to tabletop. Take your time to make your way back up to hands and knees. And we'll do, of course, the other side here. When we do on one side, we do on the other. So this time, inhale, lift your left arm up, gaze out. Take your gaze out to look over your fingertips if you can. Just do a little twist there. And then exhale, slide your arm underneath and come into your thread the needle on this side. Relaxing your head and shoulder towards the floor or on the floor. Just rest here. Feel a gentle stretch. It'll take about a minute here. And try to just let the shoulder relax. Take a couple more easy breaths here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and out. And if you're ready, start to gently press back up to your hands and knees to your tabletop. And feel free to shift your hips a little from side to side. Do a few more cat and cows or anything else that is feeling good to you here. Kind of release from the stretch, from the pose. And then from here, from tabletop, make sure your fingers are spread wide. Curl your toes under and lift back up to downward facing dog. Just take a couple breaths here. Feel free to make any stretches or movements, or just find a place of stillness in your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. I'm going to get fancy about it. And inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, put bend to your knees. Inhale, gently step your feet forward to meet your hands. And exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Your hands may or may not be touching the floor, so don't worry about that. You might keep a little bend to your knees, especially for this first one around. Maybe start to strain your legs, just depending on how it feels in the back of your legs. And then press down through your feet. Inhale, slowly roll up the standing a little bit at a time. So your head, your shoulders will come up last. And then from here, we'll step to the top of your mat. Connect in your mountain pose. Find your mountain pose here. Feet rooted down towards the earth, crown of your head lengthens up towards the ceiling. Finding a really good posture here, this time standing up, shoulders relax down and back, your upright spine. And from here, inhale, reach your arms overhead, just clasp your hands together. Exhale, lean out over to the left side, body stretch. Take a breath here. Inhale, come back to center, exhale over to your right. Inhale back to center, exhale, release your arms out to the side and try to clasp your hands behind you if you can. And then see if you can squeeze your shoulder blades together, lifting up through your chest, taking your hands out away from your body. Take one more breath in here, you're puffing up your chest a little bit, drawing your shoulder blades together. And exhale, release, and you can just kind of take a moment here to shake out your arms, let it loose. And then from here, going back to your mountain pose, inhale, bring both your arms forward right out in front of you. Then we're going to slide your left arm right underneath your right. So kind of link that left elbow underneath your right elbow and gently take your right arm out to the side and maybe even looking out over your right shoulder. Be nice here. So it's really simple shoulder stretch. Try to avoid pulling or forcing the shoulder in any way. Just let the shoulder relax down, do its thing. This one's kind of subtle, but it can be really nice if you're feeling a lot of pressure in your shoulders. And this is something you can even just do as a little shoulder stretch break sitting at a desk or something like that. So you can do this off the mat as well. Let's take one more breath in. And exhale, release. And just kind of shake out your arms, nice and easy. And then bring them back in front and other side. Link your right elbow underneath your left. And look out over your left shoulder. Take a couple of breaths here. This is kind of subtle, so if you're not feeling a lot of tension in your shoulders, this might not feel like a whole lot. But I still like to show this because it's simple and you can do it pretty much anywhere. And if you're feeling a lot of pressure, this can feel really nice. So just take one more breath in. And exhale, release. Again, just kind of gently shake her out. And then inhale, sweep your arms overhead. Exhale, take them behind you so you can clasp your hands behind you again. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lengthen your spine to really stay up tall, lengthen up through the crown of your head. And exhale, fold forward again, Uttanasana. This time you can pull a bend in your knees if you want or keep your legs straight. But see if you can reach your hands up towards the ceiling behind you and squeeze the shoulder blades together a little bit here, feeling a nice stretch through your shoulders. Take one more breath in. And then exhale, release it down. Inhale, look up, flat back. Exhale to fold. And this time to fold, you can either stay here, or you might do what we call like a ragdoll and take each hand to the opposite shoulder, or to the opposite elbow, and maybe even rock it a little bit from side to side here. Just take a couple of breaths here. And as you're ready, you can release your hands back down to the earth. So bend your knees however much you need to do that. And step it back to downward facing dog. And breathe here. If you want to take a little flow here, feel free to do that. Otherwise, you can stay in your downward dog or take a child's pose. So lots of options here. Downward dog, child's pose, or you can inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale to lower either chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin. Whatever's part of your practice. Inhale, find your back, and little cobra or upward dog. So the most part's completely optional. And exhale, wherever you're at, find your way back to downward facing dog. One more breath in. And exhale, lower your knees to the earth. And we'll slide your feet over to one side. So it doesn't matter which side it is. And come to a seat, kind of like where we started. I'm going to grab my blanket to sit on. You can do so if you'd like as well. We're just going to come to cross-legged seat, kind of like where we started here. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale, just start to walk your hands out on the floor in front of you a little bit at a time, coming into a seated forward fold. From here, walk your hands out over to the left, do a little stretch along the side of your body. Take a breath in, and take a breath out. And then walk it back through center, and over to the right, same thing here, and take a breath. Walk it back to center. Take about 5 breaths here. Keep your shoulders still relaxed down away from your ears. Any amount is fine. So you can be here, you might be further. Just make sure there isn't any pinching or pain in your spine wherever you go here. Take a couple more breaths here, wherever you're at. Inhale, start to walk your hands in towards your body. Make your way back up to your seat. From here, inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, send your right hand to your left knee to turn to look out over your left shoulder. Just coming into a simple seated twist. Inhale, sits you up tall. Find that length in your spine. Exhale, gently twist from there. Any amount is fine. We'll take one more breath here. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind from your twist, reach your arms overhead again, and exhale, take it to the other side, and look out over your right shoulder. We'll take one more breath here. Inhale, look forward, gently unwind from your twist, make your way back to center. Feel free to roll your shoulder, make any movements that feel good here. So we're going to move into a couple more neck releases, neck stretches seated here. So first one, I'm sitting upright. You can stay in a cross-legged seat. I just moved my feet because my knee sometimes my knee gets tired of sitting cross-legged. So know that you always have those options to alter if you're feeling the need to. Just always listen to your body. But either way, upright spine, sitting up tall. We're just going to start to take your left hand to the floor, or you can always use, if you have a block or a book or something, you can lift the floor up to you. Otherwise, take that hand to the floor and slide your right ear towards your right shoulder. And we're not forcing it. The ear's not meant to actually touch the shoulder. We're just looking to go in that direction, get that stretch along the side of your neck. Now, optional, if you want a little bit more, a little deeper, optional, if and only if it feels good to you. Inhale, send that right arm overhead. Exhale, send that hand to your head. But if you do that, just let it rest there. So we're not using the hand to push anything or force anything. We're just letting it gently rest there and letting gravity do its thing. Take a couple more breaths here. The shoulders still relaxed down away from your ears. And exhale, release your hand if it's on your head. Slide your chin gently back through center. And come back up. We'll do the other side. So this time take your right hand to the floor. Send your left ear in the direction towards your left shoulder. So sitting up tall. And of course optional to stay here, or only if you want to. And take your left arm up, inhale. And exhale, send that hand to your head. Either option is fine. I just like to provide choices. Continue to breathe in. Breathe out, take your time. Remember, there's no rush here. Just try to be in the moment. Notice any sensations that you're feeling. from here, we'll take one more neck stretch here. And then clasp your hands. Take your clasped hands right behind your head, right at the base of your skull. Elbows can go out to the side. And start to tilt back. So kind of like we did before, but it's a little bit different. So tilt your chin towards the ceiling and stretch along the front of your neck. And just let your head rest back into your hands. We're looking down a lot. We're doing a lot of this, right? A lot of phone, a lot of in the car, a lot of at the computer, and we're looking down, right? So just take your head in the opposite direction for a few moments. Just take another breath here. And then to balance it out, inhale, come back through center. Keep your hands at the base of your skull. And exhale, chin to chest, chest to chin. If your hands feel, again, your hands are not meant to be pushing down here, they're just gently resting. But if it does feel like too much pressure to you, you can always release your hands for this part and just look down. Otherwise, your hands will just be clasped at the base of your skull. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, tilt back. Let your head rest in your hands. Take a couple breaths here. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, chin to chest, chest to chin. And your elbows can rest a little bit on this part if you're feeling like your arms feel tired. That's fine too, as long as it's not putting too much pressure on your neck. Inhale, come back up. We'll do this one more time. Exhale, tilt your head back. Take a couple breaths here. Come back up, and once more, exhale, chin to chest. One more breath here. And release your hands, inhale, come back up. Feel free to shake your head loose a little bit if you want to just kind of check in, notice how it feels. Okay, and then from here, just come to a seat with your knees bent in front of you and your feet on the floor. Check to see that your feet are parallel to one another. The knees are stacked over your ankles. We're just going to slowly lower all the way down onto your back. And just when you get there, just take a moment, let your back rest on the floor here. Just let it relax. And then from here, we'll take your arms to the side. Palms facing down. Start to press down through the soles of your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up, lower, mid, and upper back. We're just going to do one bridge pose while we're here. Optional to stay here if you want. You can play around with walking your shoulder blades together and clasping your hands behind your back. Lift up through your chest a little bit more here. Lift your hips up maybe a little higher. But if not, that's totally fine too. Your practice. Just take a couple more breaths here. Maybe come back to your intention once more. Take this time to consider how you might be able to give yourself what you need and let go of the things you don't, or whatever else your focus is for today. Take one more breath in and exhale, release, lower down, upper, mid, and lower back, and just give your knees a hug into your chest. Maybe rock a little from side to side here. Kind of releasing any tension you might be feeling in your back. And then from here, you just take your hands to back your legs, let your legs extend. Point and flex your feet for a moment. Looking up instead of down. Just take one more breath in. Out. And then bring your knees back in. And then optional, you can take a happy baby if you want here for a little hip opener. Taking your knees out wide and reaching for your toes, your ankles, your pants leg, whatever you can reach for here. Maybe rock a little from side to side, or you can stay in folded pose, just hugging your knees into your chest. Whatever feels good to you, your choice. And then from here, we'll just bring your knees together if you haven't already. And lower your feet down to the floor. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Stretch your arms out behind you for full body stretch. Just lengthen your whole body. Take one more big breath in through your nose. And then release a big sigh out through your mouth as you release your arms to the side. And just start to make any final movements or adjustments that you would like to make here to set yourself up for our final pose of practice, our corpse pose or Shavasana, one of our most important poses, also one of, probably arguably one of the most relaxing. So if you want to put your socks on or anything like that or anything warmer, just take your time to do that and trust yourself that you already know intuitively what it is that you need here from this part of the practice. Just take your time to do those things. Put a blanket, pillow under your head, a blanket over your body, maybe slide a little something under your knees. It could even just be a couple pillows that you stack. If you feel tension in your back when you lie down with your legs out in front of you on your back, that can be helpful. And anything that you're feeling called to here, and trust yourself, you know how to get yourself into a relaxed place. And then from here, I really encourage you to stay with this, not to shut off the video now. The practice is not over yet. We're going to take a few minutes to really just let our bodies and our minds really take in the benefits of our relaxation yoga practice today. Maybe notice if any part of you feels a little more loose. Maybe you've let go of something that wasn't needed in your mind or body today. So from here, just once you get to this comfortable place, just try to really let your back, your shoulders sink into the floor. Let your body rest here. Your eyes gently close. Returning back to your natural breath. Just take this time to completely release everything, release all physical efforts from your body. So you can move into a place of stillness. If you feel the need or desire to wiggle or move a little bit, that's totally fine. This is your relaxation practice. We're kind of just winding things down here. Taking this time to just be and let everything else go. Shavasana or corpse pose kind of symbolizes the death or the end of our practice. It's a really good time to let die, let go, release any of those things that don't serve you, whether it's releasing some tension perhaps in your neck or shoulders, or releasing something else that maybe you're feeling held to that maybe you can just let it go. Just see how that goes. Let go of anything that maybe feels like a weight on your shoulders or burden to you. So you feel a little more light, a little bit more free, a little more at ease. We'll just take another minute or two here of quiet space in your Shavasana. to stay here a bit longer, do feel free to pause the video and stay here for however long you would like. There's no limit on how long you can stay here in your Shavasana. Otherwise, as you're ready, we'll begin to gently deepen your breath, drawing energy back into your body. As you start to make any little stretches or movements with your hands and feet, arms and legs perhaps, that feel good to you. Bring yourself back out into the rest of the world, back out from the Shavasana. And whenever you're ready, just gently hug your knees into your chest one more time and roll over to your right side. And just stay here for a moment. Just stay there in your fetal pose. Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Jim wrote. And then mindfully begin to make your way back to your seat. And as you do so, just take a brief moment here of gratitude towards yourself for taking this time to find some ease, hopefully, and come to your mat with intention. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. And my name is Amber. I hope that you found this practice relaxing, that it gave you some nice deep stretches and made you feel a little more loose, a little less tense in your neck and shoulders. I do want to remind you that it is a consistent, ongoing practice. So sometimes, if you're just starting, you might still have some tension to work on, but you can come back to this practice at any time. So as always, take really good care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye.